We'll begin the assembly by flipping the frame upside down. You're also going to want to turn it around 180 degrees so that you're looking at the back of the X carriage. We're going to be installing this little limit switch bumper, and this part is unique to the 40-watt version. The 22-watt nozzle kit does not have this bumper, and so for the 40-watt, we're going to be installing it into this bracket here. There's a long tab that you can grab with your thumb and forefinger. Then you can bring this part down to the left of that bracket, and the two features that look like the snap buckles will get inserted into that hole, and then you press them in and they should click into place. We'll take a look at this from a different angle. So from the top, you can see I've inserted those buckle features, and I've kind of inserted the bottom one first, so I can almost rotate it into place, and that might make it easier to snap inside and engage. Should look like this when you're done, and should be sitting flat against the bracket, and should not be touching your belt or interfering with anything else. The purpose of this bumper is to contact the limit switch so that the carriage does not move over far enough to slam the sides of our new fume extraction nozzle against the frame. We'll have another look at that in a moment, but right now we're going to be installing the fume extraction nozzle on top of the 40-watt laser module. At the top of the laser module, there are 4 flathead screws with hex drives, so you're going to remove those, and then we can grab the top part of our new fume extractor, and you can see that there are angled edges and there's a notch at the back. So that notch is going to line up with the precise and normal LED lights, and the angled edges are going to go towards the front of the laser module. Then we can take our 4 M3x8 socket head cap screws and start threading those into the holes where those flathead screws used to go. If you run into an issue where those screws do not want to thread in, have a look under the cover. Do not rip it off. You can see there's wires still connected. Just carefully lift it up, and you'll see the screws thread into these hex standoffs. When I removed my original screws, one of those standoffs fell off, and so I'm going to have to put it back in, and that's pretty simple. One side of the standoff has a male M3 thread, and that will just thread back into the hole in the corner where it fell out of. If you have small fingers, you can do this with your hands. Otherwise, you can carefully use a set of needle nose pliers like I'm doing here. After resolving that issue, I'm back to installing the 4 M3x8 socketed cap screws, and you'll see what it should look like when you're done. Now there are 4 more unpopulated holes, and this is where we're going to be attaching the side nozzles to. The side nozzles have slash cuts in the end, and those should face the module, and these are asymmetrical parts, so you can't install them the wrong way. The holes will only line up in one direction. And we're going to be using these M4x10 thread forming screws to attach these. While you're screwing these in, just remember that you're attaching them to plastic, so do not over tighten them, and screw them in as straight as possible. It's worth repeating that you do not need to over tighten these. This is just plastic, and it's holding a very light nozzle. This is what it looks like when you're complete, and then we can bring it over to the frame and insert it into the carriage. And with the bumper installed, when we move the laser module over and it hits the limit switch, you'll see that when we move the Y-axis back and forth, the nozzle will not hit the wire management or cable management on the side.